This is Doug with Masters Touch Automotive Center. We're going to be doing a AC recharge on a 1999 Chrysler Concorde. And 90% of the time that a vehicle needs a recharge is because the system has a leak in someplace. So once we've located the surface ports, on this one that's directly above on the AC compressor, hook up the AC lines. The first step is to suck out all of the Freon that may be in the system. So as you can see by the pressures that are hooked up, there is some Freon in the system. So what we're going to do is recover it. Okay. This process can take up to 15 minutes. And as you can see, the pressures will be dropping down as it sucks the Freon out of the system. So we'll let this thing evacuate all the Freon out of the system, and we'll see how much is already in the system. So I finished recovering all the Freon in it. As you can see, it had a ½ pound in the system, which isn't enough to even turn the compressor on. It probably needs to have at least, depending on how much the system holds, probably about a little bit over a pound just to kick on the compressor. So after we get all the Freon out of the system, then we need to put a vacuum on the system just to make sure that there's no large leaks. So what we'll do next is put it on vacuum for, oops. Okay, so we'll let it sit on vacuum for 5 minutes, and what that will do is it should pull that gauge down to the -30 range. And what we'll do is we'll come back after 15 minutes and we'll see if it actually holds there. And then we'll know that it doesn't have any major vacuum leaks causing Freon to leak out. Now the vacuum test won't tell you if there's any small leaks. It'll only let you know if there's any major large leaks, and that there's no point to put in Freon if it can't even hold that. Okay, so our 15 minutes is up, as you can see by the complete sign there. And if you look at our gauge, it's still holding at -30. So what that means is there's no major leaks in the system, although there's probably a small leak. And so that's why we're going to inject just a tiny amount of that AC dye that you see right there into the system. And we do that by just holding, since it's already got a vacuum in it, hold down the button here. We're running low on it. Suck in as much as we can, okay. And then we just got to charge the system with Freon. So we're going to come over to the vehicle, and system holds 1.56 pounds. So that's what we're going to put into it. Walk back over to our machine. We're going to shift reset. We're going to charge. And make sure we open up our valves again. And you only charge the Freon through the low side. So we're going to go ahead and leave that open and charge it. And as you can see, it sucks it in, counts it down as the Freon goes into the system. And our pressures will begin to rise. If it seems to stall like that, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll turn on the engine and get the AC pump going so that it'll suck in even more Freon. Once I turned on the car, you can see it starts sucking down the Freon pretty quickly. So suck in the rest of the Freon there. And when it beeps, it'll be all finished up. And we have ourselves some nice cold air conditioning. So all we gotta do now is disconnect our lines, put back on the caps onto our ports, and she's done. Okay, we got our caps back on our AC compressor port valves. And that is it. Completed AC recharge on a 99 Chrysler Concorde.